Welcome back to Python for Data Science tutorial on Fulcrum. This session is on list in Python. So it's another type of sequence data type in Python. So let's see more about the same. Lists in Python are just like dynamic sized arrays declared in other languages. For example, it's something similar to vector in C++. List is a sequence data structure in Python and it need not be homogeneous always, which makes it a most powerful tool in Python. A single list may contain data type like integers, strings as well as objects. Lists are mutable and hence they can be altered even after their creation. Lists in Python are ordered and have a definite count. The elements in a list are indexed according to a definite sequence and the indexing of a list is done with 0 being the first index. Each element in the list has its definite place in the list, which allows duplicating of elements in the list, with each element having its own distinct place and credibility. Lists are a useful tool for preserving a sequence of data and further iterating over it. So let's begin by creating a list. Let's say L1 is a variable that is going to be a list that is holding a set of numbers. The elements of a list are enclosed within square brackets. And let me say my elements of the list are 1, 2 and 3. So here I can say L1 is a list holding the list of integers 1, 2 and 3. Let's check the type of L1. Let's put this within print statement so that the type is displayed. Also, let's print our L1 and see how it's getting displayed. So print L1. So once you run this, you could see the output here, class list. So the data type of L1 is list and it holds the elements 1, 2 and 3. So this is how you create a list, hold the elements within square brackets. So now we have created our list with 3 elements and the elements are all numbers and they are 1, 2 and 3. Now let's see how we're going to access the elements of the list. So we are going to access elements. So for this we will use the indexing technique. So as said, the indexing starts with 0. So let me put the accessing within the print statement so that it is displayed. So if I say L1 within square brackets, if I say 0, so L1 of 0 is going to access the first element of my list, that is 1. So if you run this cell, you'll get the output as 1. So indexing starts with 0 for list. So L1 of 0, it is accessing the first element of your list. So if you want to access the element 2, what will be the index here? You should say L1 of 1. This will access the element 2. Now if you say L1 of 2, this will give you the element 3 of your list. You could have list of strings. That is, if I say L2 equal to, the elements should be enclosed within square brackets. Now instead of integers as in the previous case, now I'm going to add strings here. Say for example, if I say Fulcrum, this is one element. Now I'm going to say tutorials. So this is the second element. And now I'm going to say Python. So all these are the elements of my list. There are 3 strings for my list L2, Fulcrum, tutorials, Python. Let me add one more. Let's say C++. So the list is capable of holding any types of data, right? If you print L2. you could see the contents of your list. It holds the strings, tut, fulcrum, tutorials, Python and C++. Again, accessing the elements of your list here is also the same using the indexing techniques. Say for example, if you say print L2 square bracket, specify the index number. Say if you say 2, you'll get the output as Python. So the index value for Python is what? Indexing starts with 0. So this is 0. Then tutorials is 1. And Python, the index number is 2. So L2 of 2 will get you the output as Python. You could create your list with repeating elements. That is, if I say L3 is equal to 1, 2, 3, then again you could give 3, 5, 6, 7, again 1, 3, then 6, then 9, etc. The elements could be repeated, no issues. So if you print your L3, see, you're getting the elements as what? 1, 2, 3, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1, 3, 6, 9. The elements what you have used when you created your list L3. So duplicating the elements of a list is permitted. Now let's create a list with mixed type of values. Let's say L4 is equal to, I'm going to add an integer, I'm going to add a float, now I'm going to add a string, so tut fulcrum, right? Now let's add a complex entity, let's say 10.10 plus 3j. So list is capable of holding all types of data. So now if you print your L4, you could see the output. It is giving you 1, 1.45, the string tut fulcrum and the complex data 10 plus 3j. You could also have multi-dimensional list. Means what? A list within a list. So let's see how we create a multi-dimensional list. So let's say L6 equal to, enclose the elements within square brackets, and we are going to create list within a list. So the inner list elements should also be enclosed within another square bracket. So if I say 1, 2, 3, this is my first list. Again, I have one more list. I'm going to add, let this be string. So tut fulcrum, and let me add one more element here. Let it be an integer, right? I'm going to add one more list. So again, comma separated by, and then I have another square bracket here. Here I'm going to add my list element. So let's say 10, then 3. So this I have created a multi-dimensional list. So if you print L6, let's see how we are getting our output. So can you see your multi-dimensional list here? That is list within a list. 1, 2, 3, tut fulcrum 12, 10 and 3. So this is how you create a list within a list, or you call it as a multi-dimensional list. So this is about creating our list. So we have created various lists. L1, which is having only numbers, and then we have seen how to access the elements of our list. We created L2, which was holding only strings, and then we have created L3, which holds duplicate elements within a list, and we have our L4 with a mix of data types, and then we have our multi-dimensional list. Now let's see how to get the size of our list. So let's say we are going to check the size of, say, L3. So for this we could make use of the function len. So if I say len of and then my list name, say for example L3, this will return me the size of the list L3. Let me put this within the print. And let's check what the size of the list L3 is. So the output here is 11. Means the list L3 holds 11 elements. So let's go back and check. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, your list L3 holds 11 elements. So you could make use of the function len to check the length of your list. Now let's see how we add elements to a list. Elements can be added to the list by using the built-in append function. Only one element at a time can be added to the list by using this method. For addition of multiple elements with the append method, we make use of loops. So let's first create an empty list. So how do you create an empty list? Simply leave the square brackets empty. So L is now empty and we are going to add elements to this making use of the append function. So I'll say L dot append and then within brackets I'll say the element that I want to add to my list. If I say 12, right? And now if you just print your L, you could see the element 12 will be added to your list. Can you see this here? 12 is added. Now let's keep on adding more elements. Let's say L dot append, let's say 34. We'll add few more. So L dot append, let's say 56. Then L dot append, let's pass a string. So tooth fulcrum, done. Now if we print your L, it holds the elements 12, 34, 56 and the string tooth fulcrum. So this is how you add elements to your list making use of the append function. As you have seen here, the append method only works for addition of elements at the end of the list. For addition of element at the desired position, insert method is used. Unlike append, which takes only one argument, insert method requires two arguments. The first argument is the position and the second is the value. Let's take one example. So let's work with the same list L, which has the elements 12, 34, 56 and tooth fulcrum. So let's see how to make use of the insert method for adding elements to the list. So first you have to specify your list name. So it is L followed by the dot operator and then I'll call the insert method. And as said here, it has two arguments. The first argument should be the position. So let's say if you want to insert to position 3, then you have to specify the value that you're trying to insert. Say for example 100. So this statement means that you're going to insert an element 100 to the position 3 in your list L. So let's run this and see what we are getting. So if you check your L, what's your output? You're getting 12, 34, 56, 100. At the position 3, now you have 100 inserted. Then followed by the string tooth fulcrum. So initially, before using the insert method, at the index 3, you have the string tooth fulcrum. Right? Here you could see here. 0, 1, 2, 3. After calling the insert method, you were trying to insert the element 100 to position 3. So now 100 is inserted to position 3 and the tooth fulcrum is moved to the next index. So other than append and insert methods, there is one more method for addition of elements, that is extend. This method is used to add multiple elements at the same time at the end of the list. So all these append and insert were adding only one element at a time, right? So now we are going to add multiple elements at the same time to the end of your list. and this is done using the method extend. So let's see with an example. Let's create a new list. So 1, 2, 3, right? Now let's print this. Let's say print list before extending. Print, let's print L. Now we are going to make use of the extend method to add more elements to the end of your list. So I'll say L dot extend, right? And all the elements that you're going to add should be enclosed within the square brackets. So let's add a string, substitute fulcrum, comma, let's say some 100, 200, right? So what's going to happen here? You have the list L that is created with elements 1, 2 and 3. After calling the extend function, these elements, that is tut fulcrum 100 and 200, will be placed after the element 3 of your list L. So let's print this and check. Print list after extending. Let's see what our output is. So can you see your output? List before extending, it is 1, 2 and 3. So list after extending, it is 1, 2, 3, tut fulcrum 100, 200. So these are the various methods of adding elements to your list. So we spoke about accessing the elements of a list, right? And we have seen the case with the single list. Now let's extend it to multidimensional list. So let's create a multidimensional list and let's see how we are going to access the elements of a multidimensional list. So let's say L is equal to, we are going to create list within a list. So let's start using inner square brackets as well. So if we say 1, 2, 3, right? The second list is say 34, 55, 8, then 10. I'm going to add one more list here. Let's say 100. I'm taking only integers as of now, 12. Let's add one more. Let's say 1. So L is now a multi-dimensional list. So let's print our L and see the output. So you could see here you have multiple lists within the list L. The first list is 1, 2, 3. Second list is 34, 55, 8, 10. The third list is 100, 12. And the fourth list is the number 1. So now let's see how we are going to access these elements. So for accessing we use indexing techniques, as you know, and the indexing technique starts with 0. So here, if you want to access the elements of the first list, that is, if you are intending to access elements from this list 1, 2 and 3, which is the first list, how do you access? Specify your list name, that is L. Now here we will provide 2 subscripts. Within the first subscript, you have to specify the index value for the list. So here 1, 2, 3, this entire list is belonging to the index 0. Indexing always starts with 0. And say now within this list, if you want to access any element, again use the indexing. So that is what you're going to specify within the second subscript. So say for example, if you want to access the element 3, what is the index position for this? Within this list, the index value is what? 0, 1, 2. So this will give you the output as 3. Let's see. Yes, you're getting the output 3 here. Right? Suppose if you want to access 1, what will you do? This remains the same. The first subscript index value is 0. The second will also be 0 here. So now you're getting 1. Now say for example you want to access the element 100. How will you do that? let's put this within the print statement L, and since it's multi-dimensional, you will have two subscripts. Within the first subscript, you have to specify the index value of the inner list. What is that? 0, 1, 2. It is 2. So you have to specify here 2. And then within that list, what is the index value of 100? It is the first element. So the index value here is 0. So L of 20 will give you the element 100. Say if you want to access 1. So what is the index value of this list? It is 0, 1, 2 and 3. So you will specify here 3. And what is the index value of 1 within that list? It is 0. So 30 will give you the element 1. Negative indexing is also permitted here. Say for example, if we have L as 1, 2, 3, right? If I say print L of -1, this will give you the element 3. So negative indexing starts from the end. That is 3 has the index -1, -2. This is -3. So same, you could extend it with the multi-dimensional list and do the experiments. Now let's see how we remove elements from the list. Elements can be removed from the list by using the built-in remove function, but an error arises here if the element doesn't exist in the list. The remove method only removes one element at a time. To remove range of elements, iterator is used. The remove method removes the specified item. Note that this method will remove only the first occurrence of the searched element in the list. So let's say we have list with elements 1, 2, 3, and let me repeat 1, then 3, 4, 2, right? Now if I say L dot remove, I'm going to remove the element 1. So you could see here the element 1 is repeated twice. So you have 1 here, also you have 1 here. So let's see which one is getting removed. So after this, let's print our L. So what is our output? 2, 3, 1, 3, 4, 2. So you could see here the element 1 is removed from the first occurrence of the same. Apart from the remove method, pop method can also be used to remove and return an element from the list. But here, by default, it removes only the last element of the list. To remove element from a specific position of the list, index of the element is passed as an argument to the pop method. That is, let's work with the same list L. So now the list is updated with elements 2, 3, 1, 3, 4, 2. So if I say L dot pop, right? So it is popping the element 2. So that is returned. Whichever the element is removed, that is returned. So by default, as said, it is removing the last element of your list. So if you print your list here, you could see the elements are 2, 3, 1, 3, 4. 2, 3, 1, 3, 4. This, the last element 2 is popped out. You could also remove element from a specific location or position. So this is done by specifying the index value as an argument to the pop method. So if I say L dot pop, if I want to remove the element at the index 1. So you could see here the element that is present at index 1 is 3 and that is removed. So if you print your L, the elements now that's present in your list is 2, 1, 3, 4. Slicing of a list. In Python, there are multiple ways to print the whole list with all the elements. But to print a specific range of elements from the list, we use slice operation. And this is done with the help of the colon operator. Let's create a list with elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? If I say L of, I'm going to slice my list. That is, if I say 0, colon 5. Let's see our output. What's the output? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So what can you infer from this? The first index value element is included here. So this is about accessing the list elements only. So the first index element is included, whereas the last index is not included, right? So index 0 is included, that is 1, and index 5 is excluded, that is it will access elements from the range of 0 to an index value of 4, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the reason why you're getting output 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So 0 colon 5 means the element at the index 0 is accessed and the index element at the index 5 is excluded. So this is going to access elements within a range of 0 to 4. If you want to access elements from a predefined point to end, that is, say you want to access elements from 1, index 1 till the end. How do you do that? Just leave the second index value empty. This will give you the elements 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Which is the element present at index 1? It is 2. So hence you're getting the output as elements from 2 to 10. Now suppose if you want to access elements from beginning till end. How do you do that? Just simply specify L of colon. This will give you the elements from the beginning till the end. Negative index list slicing is also possible. Say if I am giving like L of colon minus 4. What will be the output here? We are getting the output as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is the meaning of this? So, all the elements from the beginning. So, that is 1, 2, 3, right? What is the second index? Minus 4. So, minus means you have to start from the end. So, 10 is minus 1. This is minus 2. This is minus 3 and this is minus 4. Always the second index is not included. So, just before that you have 6. That is why you are getting the elements from 1 to 6. Suppose you want to access a range using negative indexing. How do you do that? If I say L of within square brackets, if I say minus 6 colon minus 1. What is the meaning of this? What will be the output for this? We are getting 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. How did you get this? Always the first index is inclusive. That is minus 6 means minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6. So 5 is included. Will it include minus 1? No, minus 1 will not be included. Just before that it is the element 9. Hence you are getting the output as 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Now how do you reverse your list? L of, you will have to say all elements colon minus 1. This will access the elements of the list in the reverse order. Right? You are getting all the elements but in the reverse order. So this is about list in Python. So we have discussed what the list is, what are its properties, how we create a list, how we access the elements of a list, and few manipulations of the list. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe, and please don't forget to tap the bell icon. You'll get notified whenever we upload a new videos. Thank you.